The motorcycle tires wear out. That's a fact of life. But it's not a given that you have to take your bike to the local dealer or mechanic to get them changed. Stick around for a few minutes and I'll show you what you're in for. Hi, this is Mark Cook for Twisted Throttle. Before we get started, feel free to check out our website at the link below, where you can shop for accessories that are made to fit your motorcycle. And while you're here, leave us a like on this video and subscribe to our channel for updates on future product, as well as more two-wheeled content. So about tire changing, let's get this right up front. If you have a big bike with tubeless tires, changing them at home will require some special tools and a fair bit of muscle that maybe you don't have. Now, you may not have priced replacement rims for your GS recently, but I can tell you that they're not cheap. So maybe this is a job the pros get a crack at. Now, we do know that a lot of you have smaller dual sport bikes with tube-type wheels. As the owner of a Honda CRF 250L Rally, I'm with you there. Now, fortunately, changing these smaller tires is actually something you can accomplish in your own shop. Now, obviously, we start by removing the wheels from the bike. Use your center stand, milk crate, or whatever you have to get each wheel off the ground in succession. If you own a KLR 650, just plop it on its side. KLRs like it when you do that. Now, with the wheel off, find an open, flat space to work. Riders who change a lot of tires invest in wheel stands or get an old drum to rest the wheel on. Next up, remove the valve cord to deflate the tube. Then remove the retaining nut if there is one. Now, if there's a rim lock on the other side, remove the nut at this time as well. Next up, you'll need to break the bead. There are any number of tools on the market to do this, including this clamp-type bead breaker. The best advice here is to go slowly and avoid hammering too hard. One tip for doing this in the winter is to bring the whole wheel inside so that it's room temperature. Warm rubber is soft rubber. Now, by the way, that same advice applies to the new tire. The warmer it is, the easier it will be to work with. Now, once the bead is broken, install the rim protectors and use your tire irons and spoons to get the bead over the outside of the rim. You're going to go slowly here and take small bites so that you're not placing a big load on the edge of the rim. Getting greedy here is a really easy way to bend your rim. Now, normally on large road bikes, you'd remove the entire bead from one side of the rim, then remove the tube, then you'd work the opposite bead out from the same side. But skinny wheels like this are usually easier if you flip the wheel over and break the other bead to the outside. This way, the entire rim is floating inside the tire. Then the wheel can slip down into the tire and you can pull it out from the opposite side. While you have the wheel bare, take a few minutes to inspect the bead area. Look for any debris and carefully check out the rim strip. If you see evidence of spokes poking through the nipples or other damage of the rim strip, stop and investigate. Okay, you've got to put the tire back on now. Hit the first bead with either a dedicated tire paste or a very weak soap and water solution. Don't use oils or WD-40. Go back to the wheel and pull the first bead over the rim. Usually you can do this by hand as long as the tire isn't too stiff or too cold. Grab your new tube and partially inflate it. Not much, just enough to get it to hold a little bit of shape. It's generally easier to start at the valve stem, so insert it through the rim and thread the locking nut on just a couple of threads. Yeah, it can be difficult to get your hands inside the tire to maneuver the valve stem. That's just part of the deal. Then you're going to start carefully pushing the tube into the wheel. Be really cautious of folds and be sure it's not getting pinched between the bead and the tire on the other side. Take your time here, that's really important. Now, with the tube settled, seat the first bead. You can flip the wheel over and take another look at the tube, making sure it's smooth, and then you're going to start to seat the second bead. It's really a matter of using your tire irons or spoons and taking really small bites. Go slow, especially as you get to the last few inches. Now, double check that the opposite side of the bead is near the center of the rim channel, because this will give you a little extra room to work, make the whole job just a little bit easier. Now, once the final bit of the last bead is seated, you can inflate the tire and watch to see that the beads seat evenly on the rim on both sides. Now, you're also going to be listening for a little bit of hissing. A little bit is fine because there is some air trapped between the tire and the tube. But prolonged hissing means you've pinched the tube. Welcome to the club. We've all done it once. Now, for low-speed dual sport motorcycles, balancing the wheel is generally optional, but it won't hurt anything if you have a static balancer and you want the practice. And that's basically that. As with anything you do the first time, go slow and don't force it. Better yet, invite a friend over who has done this a time or two. Flying with a wingman is better than flying solo. And if you have some tire changing tricks of your own, let us know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.